Right now at 5, an emotional day in court as the wife of a slain police officer speaks before his killer is sentenced.
It feels like my entire soul has been ripped out of me, stomped on 5 trillion times, and still left empty.
Yeah, it's been a tough day, but it has brought some closure to Officer Rittner's families, both personal and professional.
The man who killed him, Jordan Fricke, will spend the rest of his life behind bars with no possibility of parole.
Sean Gagler has covered this story from the beginning. He's here with today's developments, and it certainly was, as we just heard there, an emotional day in court.
Yeah, terribly emotional in court today, I'll tell you. But in the nearly 8 months it's been since Jordan Fricke fired that fatal shot through his apartment door, killing Officer Matthew Rittner, lives from both sides have changed dramatically. And all of those emotions played out in the courtroom today.
At some point in time, Jordan Fricke is going to have to acknowledge his responsibility for the tragedy that unfolded that day.
As Jordan Fricke sat awaiting his fate, those closest to Matthew Rittner shared how his decision to fire at police officers in February changed their lives. No one more impacted than his widow, Caroline Rittner.
I just wish I could have one more touch, or a hug or kiss. He was my best friend, my love, my life. I don't have a clue of how to go on from here. I feel like an empty soul just breathing to stay alive.
Caroline says just 3 days after her husband was killed, she learned she was pregnant. Just 2 weeks ago, she had that daughter, who will never know a life with her dad in it.
I hate him for what he's done to me and my family. I will never ever forgive him, and I hope that he spends the rest of his life behind bars without any possibility of parole. You would think someone who has lost a parent would show some sort of remorse, but he has shown none. Please, Your Honor, he deserves the maximum penalty for that holly and heartbreak he's put my kids and I through.
Caroline's brother expressed how Fricke's decision has shattered their family, but he feels that today went exactly how Officer Rittner would have wanted it.
To the guilty, remember Matt won. He wanted cop killers to spend the rest of their lives in prison, and that is where you will rot away.
When Judge Wagner announced Jordan Fricke would have no chance at parole,
because that's what you deserve.
The members of the police department in the courtroom had a moment of elation, including Chief Alfonso Morales, hugging the family after the news.
Absolutely, it brings closure. It helps us move forward, and the sentence is that part.
And Caroline Rittner is a very private person, so this is the first time we've ever heard from her publicly. Today was both heartfelt and heart-wrenching in the courtroom. We'll have her entire testimony on our Facebook page, where you can hear more about how important Matt was to her life.
Yeah, she's certainly very private, but there have been a lot of people in the community that have reached out to help her and the family. So
yeah, for good reason.
Very difficult day, Sean. Thanks.